So if you're here, you probably already know the broad strokes. Turtle WoW is shutting down. Blizzard went on a legal rampage last year, and Project Epoch, which somehow managed to launch, blow up and die in the span of about 6 weeks, is now in this weird limbo where it's simultaneously dead and yet kind of still running. And if you're a turtle refugee right now looking at Epoch, wondering, is this actually an option? I want to give you a proper answer, because the situation is genuinely more complicated than most of the posts I've seen are making it out to be. So let me just go through the whole thing chronologically. Project Epoch had been in development since about late 2021, so by the time most people had even heard of it, the team had already been working on it for 3+ years, and for most of that time the answer to when does it launch was basically just when it's ready. Which honestly, looking at what they were building, is fair enough. This wasn't a vanilla repack with some extra quests thrown in. We're talking 1600+ custom quests, new race class combos, overhauled dungeons, custom raids, a day-night cycle that actually affected gameplay, cross-faction grouping, all running on a Wrath of the Lich King client rebuilt from the ground up to feel like vanilla. The quality bar was clearly high, and when they finally dropped a launch trailer in June 2025, it kind of proved that. People were losing their minds over it. It genuinely looked like an official Blizzard patch trailer from 2006. The production value was insane for a fan project. And then they announced July 26th as a launch date. It launched, and people showed up immediately. Within weeks it was sitting at 25,000 peak concurrent players with about 8,000 online at any given time. The subreddit was popping, the Discord was chaos in the best possible way, and it was the thing everyone was talking about. After years of hype it had actually delivered, and it felt like it. For a lot of people in the Classic Plus scene, this was the one. The server that had actually put in the work and gotten it right. And then it was September. Okay, so you probably remember this period. In the space of about 2 weeks, Blizzard basically declared war on the entire private server scene at once. First, the Total WoW lawsuit drops, full federal copyright suit, 7 claims, the whole thing. Then within days, Everlook gets a cease and desist. And then, September 9th, Project Epoch gets one too. Now, unlike Total WoW, who fought it, the Epoch team folded immediately, which, watching what was happening to Total WoW in real time, you can't really blame them. Admin K-Totes posted on Discord that multiple team members had received a cease and desist, and they were shutting down everything they could. Website, servers, client updates, and that they would not be involved with the private servers for any Blizzard or Activision game going forward. 4 years of work, 6 weeks of actually being live. Gone. Here's where it gets messy, and this is probably why you're here. Almost immediately after the original team stepped down, Ascension announced they were absorbing the Epoch server, not building their own Classic Plus thing, taking over Epoch's actual server, the existing player base, the existing characters, and they said they'd continue the content roadmap, release already developed content that hadn't shipped yet, and even run a character recovery service. So technically there are still Epoch servers running right now, but it's not Epoch. The people who built it are gone. What's running is Ascension operating the files under their umbrella, and the legal situation there is murky, to put it generously. Blizzard's cease and desist was directed at the original Epoch team. Ascension is essentially betting that Blizzard won't come for them specifically over this, or at least not yet, given that Blizzard just finished destroying Total WoW in court with a permanent injunction that explicitly banned passing the codebase to successors. Compare that to Epoch, where there was no such ruling, just a cease and desist compliance. Ascension basically found a gap and just walked straight through it. Whether Blizzard closes that gap is genuinely an open question, but that's the current state of play. So all of that happened back in September. The reason it's coming up again right now is obvious. Total WoW is shutting down this week. May the 14th is the last day. After 8 years and a brutal court loss on every single claim, it's actually over. And there's a wave of people, long-time Turtle players, people who have been in this scene for years, suddenly looking around asking what's left. And Epoch keeps coming up as the one answer, which is why people are getting confused when they dig into it and find the stories more complicated than here's the server, go play. So practically speaking, if you're a Total WoW refugee, or you just want a Classic Plus experience right now, what are you actually getting if you play the Epoch server through Ascension? The honest answer is, the content is real. The 1600 quests, the custom raids, the race class combos, that stuff exists and it works. Players who were on it before the cease and desist said the quality was genuinely there. That part isn't in question. What is in question is longevity. You're playing on a server run by a team that didn't build it, under a legal arrangement that could collapse if Blizzard decides to look their way. The soul of the project, the original devs, their vision, their ongoing development, that's gone. What you're getting is the skeleton of something that was great, maintained by people who are doing their best with it, but are not the people who made it. If you go in knowing that, it can still be worth your time. There's a lot of content there, but if you're hoping for the full Epoch experience as it was intended to develop, that ship has sailed. The summary version is this. Project Epoch built something genuinely impressive, launched at the worst possible time in terms of Blizzard's legal mood, got hit by a cease and desist 6 weeks in, and the original team complied and walked away. And Ascension is now running the servers in a legal grey zone while Blizzard is busy finishing off Total WoW. Whether that sticks around long term, nobody knows. But at least now you know what you're actually looking at when you see people talking about it.